whenever Filipino food comes into the conversation, they always ask about, ooh, lumpia, or they always talk about the pork, like the roasted pork. Those are the two main things when people think of Filipino food.
If there's any space for more flavor, like leave it to the Filipino chef to like find a place to fill that. It's like super flavorful, but like man, Filipino food's like, anyone who's eaten it knows it's every bite's gonna be just so much flavor.
Hi there, my name's Erika Flores, and it's my life's duty to introduce people to Filipino food. It's my duty, okay?
I went to the Korean market and I got this like 5-pack of Korean Shin Ramyeon. It's like one of the most popular like Korean ramens, and like every day I was eating that. So today it's like a huge treat. I'm like, this is an amazing place in Irvine. I've never been here. I'm just like, thank you for taking me out of the home. I'm so tired of sheltering in place. This is awesome. Hi, I'm David Cook. My day job is an IT professional with a semiconductor firm, and by night I'm a professional musician. Should I be looking at you though?
Today, I'm gonna take you around Southern California to try Filipino food in 3 different stages: beginning, intermediate, and advanced.
Oh dude, there's a Jollibee in the seafood city here. This is awesome.
We didn't come here for that. Here we are in Grill City, in Seafood City, in the wonderful city of Irvine, and this is stop number 1 for beginners. You know, dalawa pong ng chicken barbecue, pancit palabok, please. The small Tupperware, lumpiang Shanghai, please. Please, chicharong bulakiak. This one is lumpiang Shanghai. It's like basically a little fried egg roll. This one is introduced in like most birthdays. This is the kind of food that you would find at like every Filipino gathering. It's a staple in every party. Someone is always looking for the lumpia, which is this little guy right here, crunchy, and it's like gets all the center of attention. It's like a tourist food, easy tourist food. And then you dip it in this sweet and sour sauce. They put pork in this one. I'm sure most Americans know like Chinese egg rolls, not the vegetable one, like, but the one filled with chicken and pork. Very much an egg roll. That's basically what this is.
I'm just gonna jump in because I've had these a bunch and I love them anyway. So I'm gonna eat it first, and I have a question for you. Delicious. I love it. So Erika, okay, the question I have is, this was called when it said lumpia Shanghai, so it's actually, what is it? It is Chinese influence?
It is because there was like in the past there was like a lot of Chinese posts that the Philippines traded with. Chinese brought in a lot of rice, soy sauce, and a lot of those ingredients. They also influenced egg rolls into Philippine cuisine, and over time we adopted our own style and we made it small and like more finger foody over time. So it's like our Filipino adaptation of like Chinese egg rolls.
I remember the first time I was eating at a Filipino house, they brought out different dishes, and you could eat with your hands, which I was feeling really comfortable with. But there were like certain foods that were a little tougher for me to eat with my hands. Like, it were more like saucier. Like when they brought a saucier dish, I thought, okay, that would probably be with a spoon. But certainly enough, that was also with hands. And I found it very difficult at first because like everyone was able to create these beautiful balls of food and eat it, whereas like I was getting food on the back of my hand. Like I didn't know how to eat that, you know? So I'm like, so when you said you made it into finger size foods, I'm like, oh, it must be because the way of eating food is often with your hands.
Yeah.
Which to me, it's like, sometimes it made the food taste better. Like I was like, oh yeah, you know, there's nothing metal going in my mouth. Like, yeah, that's great, you know, I can eat this way.
There's a carrot in here.
Your vegetable serving for the day. It's awesome.
So the next dish we're going to try is a noodle dish. This dish right here is a traditional dish to eat when celebrating someone's birthday. This one is called pancit palabok. It's my dad's favorite. It's basically just noodles with ground pork, shrimp, and then you dazzle some lemon on top. I don't think they put any food coloring, so this is natural color. I can really taste the shrimp in there. Very good.
I was not expecting that consistency. Like as you bite it, it like flips and breaks apart. Like chewy, it kind of like that breaks, and then you have a whole bunch of millions of noodles. The second you put it in your mouth, you have like burst of flavor. I love it. Yeah.
So the next dish we're gonna try is chicken inihaw, and basically it's a grilled chicken skewer doused in a sweet sauce, grilled so you get like that smoky flavor. This one is delicious with the vinegar dip, and basically just go ham. Like most people like just eat it with their mouth. I like to like take a fork, and also because we're sharing it, it's like a little sample. All right, you see how that's burned to a crisp? That's what you want. I wish I had rice.
That's the kinship that Koreans have with Filipinos. It's like it's not. We always say it's not a meal unless there's rice. You know, you can eat tons of anything, but if there wasn't rice, you just don't feel full. Like you don't feel like, or you feel full, but you don't feel satisfied. You know, you have to have rice.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like this one's gonna be an easy one because like, who doesn't like a skewer? You know, and pretty much every cuisine has like meat on a stick that's been grilled, and it's always super delicious. So it's like I already know I'm gonna love this already. As anticipated, delicious. Very good.
This one is the chicharon bulaklak. Chicharon is usually like fried pork, so it's crispy. The part of the pork that they use here is like intestinal, so a little bit more adventurous than easy, but pretty much on the easy side because it's like, you know, like kind of like eating a chip because it's so crunchy. So take a whack at it.
Initial thoughts. It looks definitely like intestine because you can see the little wavy things on it.
In terms of American food, this one more closely resembles pork rinds.
When you open the bag, I could immediately smell like and I'm thinking that the smell is gonna be how it tastes, which is tastes like a little bit meaty, but not like steak or anything like that. It's kind of like, I guess, yeah, like a pork rind is what you were saying. Kind of like, yeah, so. And it feels crispy, which I always like crispy things, so yeah, you can tell that this is, it's not a chicken McNugget. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna go for it. The crispiness is great. Oh, it's a little oily, or is it fatty?
A little of both. Because like Filipino food is cooked in a lot of oil and probably lard.
I feel like when you eat intestine in Korean food, you don't see that kind of meat, or at least I'm not paying attention to it. But this is delicious.
This one is called buko pandan, and it's basically coconut flavored dessert / drink with jelly. Oh, and also you have like little coconut shreds in there as well. Like this one right here, that's coconut, and then all that green that you see is jello, like jelly. Very sweet and like smooth texture, very coconutty if you love coconut.
I guess the closest, yeah, would be like tapioca. It's like these 3 different little types of things, and they all each have their individual texture. So it's like kind of fun to eat it. You know, it's not just like it's delicious, but it's kind of fun to eat it as well.
Growing up, I didn't have this all the time because my mom didn't want me to eat a lot of sugar. So getting this would always be a treat, and I would only like ever get like a small little bowl of it. So having this now is a real treat, and it just takes me back to like my childhood when my mom would treat my sister and I to buko pandan. So I was born in Los Angeles and I grew up in Orange County, and I'm 100% Filipino. 100%.
I work with a bunch of engineers. One of them was Filipino, and he's also a professional musician. He was playing a part in a local musical, and what happened was they were looking for someone to fill a small role in the musical.
Both my mom and dad are Filipino. They were born and raised in Cardona, Rizal, in the Philippines. Growing up, I remember eating a lot of Filipino food, like maybe 3 times a week at least, getting both half Filipino food and American food in my diet.
He asked me at work, he says, would you like to join us in this musical. And I thought that was really amazing because he knew I was a musician.
Well, I did have friends coming over. Most of them were like me, Americanized, so I would just stick to feeding them sandwiches.
I think we did a 8-show run that went all the way up and down the California coast, and every single event was catered by a bunch of Filipino food. So I got a huge introduction.
But once in a while though, actually, I would bring like leftovers to school to eat at lunch, and like I would bring like most of the time easy stuff like adobo. They would try it, they would like it. And I remember in high school, during like a history class, I made adobo for the class.
Then I found out also the Filipino culture is like really heavily into the food, which I love about the culture.
I think Filipino food is an acquired taste.
The flavors might be kind of an acquired taste.
The first time you try something Filipino, like let's say sinigang, which is like a Filipino stew, it might be all right because it's like too sour and like there's like fish in there. And
you know, as a Korean person, we eat everything in the ocean, and there's some scary things that we eat out of the ocean, you know. One of the jokes we say is the only thing with 4 legs we don't eat is the table, you know. So
you have to eat it more than once or twice to get used to it. So that's why I think Filipino food is an acquired taste.
One of the things that I love about Filipino food is once, I don't know what you call it, a paste or a condiment. It's called bagoong, and it's shrimp. It's like fermented shrimp. So I'm like, I'm down with the fermented shrimp paste. That's my favorite, yeah.
Here we are at our second location at Barrio Fiesta for the intermediate adventurers. So come along with me and I'll show you the way. Barrio Fiesta is well known for their kare-kare. It says so on their little banner out in front. So I'm definitely gonna order that. Judging by the menu, designed very Filipino. Look at that color palette, green and yellow. Since Barrio Fiesta is takeout only, we are here in a parking lot. The first dish I'm going to introduce you to is one of my favorite Philippine comfort foods. It's called, yes, kare-kare. And it's like basically just a soupy dish made with peanut butter, or at least that's how my mom would make it. She would make it peanut butter, lots of vegetables like string beans and bok choy, and her meat of preference would usually be oxtail. And then this is it. Ooh, and that right there is my favorite, intestine.
Oh.
It's like jello, the cow lining. You have to try that. It's my favorite. Ooh, I think, ooh, this is oxtail. Oh my god. Okay.
Oh,
so if you've ever,
oxtail.
Yeah, if you're ever gonna have kare-kare, you have to have it with oxtail because it's the best meat to have. It's buttery and like your mouth just sinks right in. Can I eat now? Yeah. You could really taste the peanut butter in there. Very nutty.
Barrio Fiesta, kare-kare.
As suspected, it's you can sink your fork right in, so that means they cooked it at a perfect time. Just like mom used to make, except mom made it better. I'm biased. I'm gonna show you guys how I prepare my platter of kare-kare. Gotta have that rice. And then you have to do what we call bahog, meaning like whenever you have a soup, you have to dump all the soupy goodness onto the rice. My mom and dad would always tell me, oh, bahog, your rice is too dry. So this is how you do it. As much as you like or as little. Get one of each here, like eggplant, bok choy, and then maybe a little bit of oxtail. See how good that is. And then this right here, tripe, favorite. It's cow lining. Very chewy, jiggly. And then a staple side dipping sauce or sidekick for this dish would be bagoong.
I'm down with the fermented shrimp paste. That's my favorite.
Yep, shrimp paste. Smells really bad, but it's delicious. And what my parents like to do, they take a little bit of bagoong and then they put like the kare-kare sauce or soup over it, and then they mix it together. And that's what they do. And then this goes good with like everything. If you have an eggplant, you eat it with bagoong. You have oxtail, you eat it with bagoong. And everything goes with rice, and that's it. This is like intermediate level for a reason, because There's oxtail in here. A lot of people are like kind of grossed out by cow linings, but I personally really like it because it's like chewy. It's like savory jello to me, and it's just chewy. I love the chewy texture of it.
Oh, that chewiness is so fun. Don't you love the chewiness? Okay, so I would say that this is probably adventurous for most people, only because the actual thing I like about it, which is the chewiness of the tripe, or is it intestine? Yeah, of the intestine. Something I'm used to only because Korean foods, we eat a lot of intestine, so we're used to like things like organ meats and all that. But I think a lot of people who are not used to that would probably kind of freak out about the chewiness of it. But that's actually the part I like about it. You know, like I love dishes that have like tendon or something that might be like really gelatinous or like what would look like really fatty, but that's like, to me, it's like a lot of the fun flavor and the texture is, you know. But yeah, I guess it would be very adventurous for people who are not used to that. You know what's funny? I've had this kare kare a bunch of times, but I really never thought about like the peanut butteriness of it. But this has such a great flavor. It's not overly powering. It's definitely there, and it just well, I think it makes the rice taste delicious, honestly. Like if you put it on the rice and with the bagong, it's like the perfect, I can almost eat that alone as a dish. But having all these other things in it makes it so much better. I love it. You know, one question I wanted to ask you is, usually different cultures like have their version of what's normally for breakfast. Like, you know, here maybe it's like everyone eats cereal, like, you know, even if or maybe they won't even eat breakfast, but if they eat breakfast, it's always cereal. Or I don't know, if you kind of go out, you're gonna maybe get some typical pancake breakfast already.
Yeah.
A lot of, you know, my non-Asian friends would say like they find it so interesting sometimes that we eat savory foods.
Yeah, like soup.
You know, or like I'm fully like we'll eat rice dishes for breakfast. So like in the Philippines, what's your traditional, like in Korea? Very traditional breakfast would be like tofu soup. There's a lot of like tofu shops or the restaurants. You know, it comes in that really hot stone bowl, and you get like
PCD.
Yeah, exactly, right. So that would be like people eat that for dinner around here, but it's like that's very common to have that for breakfast. So the Philippines, what is like the traditional breakfast food? Like if you're gonna be in the Philippines, you're probably gonna have this for breakfast.
It's the chocolate rice porridge, sweet dish, topped with a savory, salty the rice. Name is escaping me right now.
We're gonna look it up.
Champurrado. That's it. I remember like going on vacation with my family to the Philippines, and like when it was breakfast time, I remember them ordering fish, and I was like, at 9 in the morning. But yeah, we had fish, and then we always have rice, and like longanisa is definitely a traditional breakfast dish. Because like at Grill City, they actually like serve breakfast. So like their main dishes that they serve is like not pancakes, but it's like longsilog, which is like a fried egg with fried rice and longanisa, or tapsilog, the exact same thing, except instead of longanisa, it's fried pork called tocino. So yeah. Just like,
so longanisa, is it like the sausage things?
Yeah, it's like the little sweet sausages.
Oh, it's sweet.
Yeah, it's a sweet sausage. My favorite.
Because I saw them at the at the Grill City, but we didn't get them. But I saw them there, and I saw that they're labeled longanisa, but I wasn't sure if I don't think I've had them. But,
you should have had them.
But that is a sweet sausage. Okay.
Yeah, my favorite.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd say those two dishes are like
breakfast.
Yeah, definitely. I think like the most common breakfast dish to have longsilog and tapsilog.
Okay. Wow.
Yes. The next dish I'm gonna introduce you to is a little bit more on the funky side. So this is intermediate for a reason, because this is dinuguan, pork's blood. And you can see like there's like a pepper in the center. I personally have never seen that. Very interesting that they put a big ass piece of pepper in there. So this is pork's blood, and there's like bits and chunks of pork in there. More on like the sour side for some reason, because of like the pepper that they use. Maybe they use vinegar. I don't know, I've never made it before, but it's always delicious. You have to eat it over rice. And this is traditionally eaten with puto, that rice cake I mentioned earlier, but we don't have any because I forgot to get some. And that tang is kicking in.
Oh, there are chunks in it. Is that blood also?
Oh yeah, everything is blood, but the chunks are like pork.
Oh, okay, there's pork in it. But all the dark stuff in the soup is the blood.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll try it. Okay, it's good. Full disclosure, first of all, I've never had this, but Korean food, we also eat blood, but the difference is, like tofu is what I say. It's like tofu, and when you bite into it, it's like if you ever like suck on a penny, and the way that metallic taste is, that's the way the Korean blood soup and the little cubes taste. So I'm very used to this flavor. I like it, but I've never had it with the little pork bit, so that's really yummy. Yeah, it's the first time I've had this. It's good, but I you know what, I gotta have this with rice, of course.
Well, I would describe Filipino food as unique, fun, and weird. Yeah, I think some things are weird still.
Yeah, I would definitely call myself an adventurous eater. Remember, like, I don't know what year it was, like 2008 or something, where there was this huge foodie culture that was happening?
So I brought in adobo. It's a little bit easier on the palate since it's just chicken, soy sauce, vinegar, onions, garlic.
I jumped in on that. I was a huge foodie, you know, for like a good 6 or 7 years, where you would literally live on Yelp, and it would take no less than 2 hours to look through all the Yelp reviews before you could find a place to eat.
I cook it for my boyfriend, and he likes it, and he's picky as but he likes it. Sorry, am I allowed to cuss on this show?
The nature of my job, I had to travel to many different countries, and every single time I go to a new country, one of the things I like to do is learn about the culture, and a lot of times you will learn a culture through two things, through their language and through their food.
Does your boyfriend eat Filipino food with you?
No. No.
It's not a deal breaker?
Oh no, it's not. I respect his boundaries because he's not as adventurous as I am. He likes sticking to the same things: Cheesecake Factory, frozen food, Mexican food. I've been trying to like spoon feed him like little things like, hey babe, I got you mamon. It's this Filipino sponge cake. Do you like it? No? Okay.
One of my favorite desserts that I was introduced to was this dessert called sanzurval. It's I don't know how to explain it, but it was the most delicious experience when someone gave that to me, and then, you know, I was like, wow, the frosting on this, it's buttery. You know, what's in it? And they were like, it's butter.
Alright, here we are at Dollar Hits, our advanced level for those adventurous eaters, and we are so excited because everything here is $1 and it's do it yourself, and it's basically like Korean barbecue, but this is like Filipino barbecue, but outside in the parking lot.
Yeah, when we first arrived here, I wasn't sure who was cooking. I thought they were the people actually working here. But then I saw some people go order, and then they're cooking it. So now I find out we're actually cooking it. So that's so cool, because that's totally like Korean barbecue. It's like you get the meat, you order the meat, and then you cook it yourself. And so I'm like totally digging this. This is awesome.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the easiest one. This is gonna be fishball. You know how chicken nuggets are made? This is just fish molded into a ball. So this is like the Asian chicken nuggets, but fish. And then of course you have your vinegar.
Fishball. It reminds me of, well, it's like a fishball. If you have like Chinese hot pot, reminds me of that flavor. Or if you haven't had Chinese hot pot, then like when you have Japanese ramen and then they put that one like half circle fish thing or fish cake thing, it's like that, but it's crispier because we grilled it. That's the thing, you know.
Pig ear right here, so you can recognize that. Yeah, it's chewy. It's gelatinous. There's like a slight initial crunch because like the ear is like solid.
I heard it crunch So I'm like, oh, it's gonna be crunchy. It's like we were talking about the skin of the lechon. I'm like, oh, everyone wants that. Okay, so it's like a different kind of crunch. It's crunchy and then it's all like how would you say, like cartilagey because of the ear. Yeah, this is a fun one to eat because it's like a lot of texture involved.
Let's do beef intestine. Never had this, but ooh, it smells like just like sausage, like, you know, Italian sausage. Yeah, like pizza. So the outside is chewy, and then the inside is soft. It's pretty gamey. It's gamey. Yeah, the Adventure's kicking in, and it's in my mouth.
You know, when I smelled it, you said it smelled like sausage. I'm like, oh, it does smell like sausage. I was, when I smelled it, I'm like, oh, it just smells like intestine. But it's also, okay. So I'm used to the chewiness and all that, but sometimes I wonder what's in the inside.
Ooh, yeah.
It's a little salty.
Yeah. The next one is another intestine, but this one is pork intestine. It also smells like sausage, but it doesn't look like it has like the same livery inside, so you can see like the difference. It's chewy, fatty, kind of flavorless, but it has like that innards flavor to it, but no weird gritty livery texture. So this one for me is more doable than the beef. This is like Filipino style street food. People just like eat it late at night for out with friends drinking. This is like something to complement your beer.
You know, it's interesting. I was gonna imagine that the pig intestine would be actually like smaller in diameter than the cow one. Right, not as much of that pate or liver type of thing inside. This one's more like fatty.
Yeah. The next one is chicken feet. I'm actually gonna gamay it. Do it with my hands. With chicken feet, it's like hard to navigate because there's so much bone and like so little meat. I think most of the meat is like right here in the palm. So let's go for it. Yeah, tasty. And watch out for the bone.
I'm used to eating the chicken feet, but she said it's a little bit tougher, so let's see if I can gnaw one of these fingers off. Oh. Yeah, whenever I get these these type of things like dim sum, my plate is full of little bones. I just feel like usually American cuisine, people like to eat stuff for like their flavor, but chicken feet, like if I go to dim sum and eat this, they're gonna tell me you gotta eat this because it has a lot of collagen in it. It's good for your like skin or whatever, you know, because of all the little bits of collagen in here. I was like, last time I was in Korea, like we kept eating foods, and I would ask, oh, why do we eat this? And they're like, oh, because that's, you know, increases your longevity, or that's good for your kidney, or that makes you, you know. I'm like, do you eat anything for flavor?
Honestly, are you looking forward to this?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to what? Looking forward to what?
The grand finale for like the most adventurous eater. If you're down to try it, I'm sure you've seen it, heard of it. Balut. It's a duck embryo, and personally I love it a lot because it's like a little soup entree and one egg. Okay, let me see if I'm gonna do this right. I need help. Alright, so you're only supposed to crack off the top. Ooh, perfect! Yeah, I cracked off the perfect side. So you want the side without, with it being hollow like this. And then what I like to do, or my mom taught me, here, wait, let me get some salt first. And then just crack it open. And then first you drink the juice. I wish! Okay. Alright. Mmm, it's so good. Cheers.
It looks delicious. It looks really good. I can't wait.
Alright. And then you just peel off the rest of it. Come to mama. Okay. Okay, this part is like the egg yolk, the yellowy yolk, and that part is the baby duck. Get in my belly. So this is the easier side to eat. And even for me, I love balut, but when I get to like the baby duck, I have to look away and not think about it if I want to down it, but I'll eat it regardless. So then you just grab some salt, saltiness, and down the hatch. You have to have it with salt. Okay, now it tastes really similar to a hard-boiled egg. Now I just ate the yellow egg part. It tastes like your regular hard-boiled egg. But let me tell you about the duck part. Because it has a different texture. And it's not all egg white. You can see the head and then the body. Hello.
Just eat it. My goodness. Do we have to do
Alright.
an autopsy first? To do an autopsy. Why did you make that face?
I'm thinking about it.
Any texture you want to talk about? Beak?
Oh yeah, it's like a consistently smooth texture. There's no bones in it. It has somewhat of a gamey flavor to it. Kind of tastes like egg white with a gamey flavor, and that's the best way I could describe it. Delicious. Yes. This is a hard-boiled egg.
Is it my turn? All right, you have to walk me through this. And then how do you open it?
I just opened it with my heavy-ass phone.
All right.
So maybe a little bit more. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good.
Okay. The texture is a little unnerving, and then I'll drink this juice out of it. It's like a hard-boiled egg. Yeah, taste. Okay, that part's fine. I just don't want to have a mouthful of skull, and you know what I mean? You said the easy part first? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's like a yolk. Oh!
I'll put a little bit of salt on this one first.
Okay.
You got this.
I got it. I'm not going to point out any of the features because that part makes me think about it too much. There are definitely pieces in there that have a different texture than other parts of it. But it's good. It tastes like duck. That was a little scary.
You did it.
So I thought I was an adventurous eater, but after today, learned that there was a lot more to the Filipino cuisine.
It's my goal to expose as many people as I can to Filipino food and share the cuisines that I love.
And that's one of the great things about going and trying different foods with someone who really knows the food and the culture.
And our last stop here was Dollar Hits, and as you can see, it was a big success.
So I got introduced to a lot of new things today. One of the things I love about learning about a culture, there's so much about the food that it ties in really closely with the culture. So if you're open to eating any country's food, you're going to learn a lot about the people and who they are, and even the personalities and the characters of all the people.
For me, Filipino food means family, love, and I always just think of my family and sharing a meal with them. So whenever I took that first bite today, I would always think of my mom, her home-cooked meal, and my grandma and grandpa and my dad introducing me to this Filipino culture that's part of our heritage, in our blood, and I ate pig's blood. It means a lot to me to come out today and share with you guys what I love so much about Filipino food.
I would have never known about this if it wasn't for Erika, so thank you so much. Thank you, Advenchas.
So I hope today's episode inspired you guys to try something new, other than Cheesecake Factory and Chili's.
And what's wrong with Chili's? Chili's is great. When we were eating the balut, like, if it was just you and I don't know, I would have done that. But like with having Erika there, I'm like, okay, I felt so much like more comfortable and like safer about doing that, you know. But I think if you were in there, like I probably would have been nearly as adventurous. Like I probably would have just chosen normal skewera items. So it's so good that like you chose everything and then you ate first and everything. Okay, like that gave me like, it just felt safer, you know. Like I probably would have not have gone that nearly that adventurous on my own, you know.